Hello everybody, this is Rebirth of Legend here with another replay now. So we're looking at another anti-mage game. Oh, my favorite here. Tons of these, huh? Okay. So, fuck, I closed the Chrome tab. That's okay though. The question asked is how to really carry with an anti-mage. Our lovely hero of this game had over twice the net worth of the enemy Spectre and failed. And still lost the game. Even though they had more than twice the net worth, seemed to farm pretty well. Everything seemed to work out pretty okay, but god damn it, I hate this game sometimes. Everything seemed to be going okay, but then somehow still lost. That's what we're going to look at. Specifically, we're going to look at how you farm in the mid game. So, like, just to clarify, God, this thing freaks out every time I go to stream or go to record a VOD. Anyway, it should fix itself momentarily.
Spirit Breaker.
The way you want to play AM is very aggressively during the mid game. Like when their lineup justifies it, you want to be farming aggressively, particularly against someone like a Spectre. Spectre is incredibly weak, particularly when she's rushing a Radiance. And even after she gets the Radiance, Spectre doesn't have a tank item and she has no real good way to defend herself. Her goal is to like haunt and like ruin the supports, or ruin the day of the supports on your team, right? So she's still actually incredibly weak and incredibly vulnerable to pressure. So as an anti-mage, what you want to do is, once you have your Vlads, you go into her lane and you just trade with her. She can't trade damage with you. She can't trade damage with anyone, let alone an anti-mage who's reasonably farmed.
Tide Hunter.
Let's go a little faster. Okay, we got the Chrome tab up now. Alright, in this game, so specifically we have Abandoned, so it's 45, still can win the fights. The way we want it is I got a bunch of pickoffs. And the tanker is really bad. Okay. So it sounds like you end up doing the right thing at the end, but just keep in mind, anti-mage hits a timing, or should be hitting a timing around...
Silencer.
Okay, so there's like different timings you'll hit, and I'll try and talk about those, but you're basically going to peak out at about 35 minutes or so. That's about when you get 6th slot. Between 35 and 40 minutes is when AM hits his 6th slot, and that's when you're going to be at your strongest, or when you hit your theoretical peak, because after that there's nothing you can really do to improve your strength, and everyone else is going to keep getting relatively stronger. It's because of the rate at which you farm. So when you're against heroes like this, you probably want to get, you definitely want to have Vlads, and then you man up on them and you trade for their mana and their HP, because once you have the Vlads, trading HP means nothing to you.
Get ready for the game to start in 30 seconds.
And then they're trading mana and HP, and if you trade mana with like a Spectre or Bristle, it means they can't actually show up to a fight because they don't have damage, they don't have their spells, they don't have the things they need. It looks like you're just gonna straight Battle Fury Rush. This is also really bad. You should not do this. You should pretty much always go treads. One thing I'll send you a link to as well is an AM farming tutorial video I have. It'll show you a really simple farming pattern to do in the early game to really maximize your farm. This isn't the most fun lane. This is not an ideal 2v2. Because you're actually a very low armor hero if you check it out. If you think you're going to be against someone like a Bristle or a Slardar, what you actually want to do is start with like a Ring of Protection and then probably get a Bassi. You see how much damage those are doing to you? I'm sorry, it's like 3 in the morning here while I'm recording this. You have 12% physical resistance. It's incredibly low. That's like probably some of the lowest you'll find apart from like really shitty anti-heroes like a Visage or something. Like even if we look at this guy, he probably has more than you. He's got 3 and then he's got the armor. This guy has 5, which is really high. Yeah, the point is like you just have very low base armor, so those early quills are gonna damage you. So if you think you're gonna get someone like a Bristle or a Slardar or a Tide, people who all do really high physical damage, then you need to start with the Ring of Protection. Having a Bassi also lets you control the wave really well. This is actually good. Like you shouldn't be able to free farm like you are right now. With the Spirit Breakers like leaving, if they're not trying to pressure you enough. So this is actually going really, really well for you. So on the topic of why you want to get treads,
It shall not be.
it lets you deal with pressure better. So there's nothing wrong with rushing the Ring of Health here at all. That's good harassment. I like that. There's nothing wrong with getting the Ring of Health first, since you should probably anticipate a good degree of harassment here. I'd probably also get the 4-man shield. But you want the treads because, like, let's say they move the silencer into your lane too, and you're in like a 2v3 or something. You can't farm that lane. Okay, that was smart not to dive that. You don't want to trade like all your HP like that. It's not very smart. I know you have the salve. Wow, that is going really well. This will be, let's see who will actually like dive that. So like right now, like if you had boots there, you'd be able to like move attack. But now that, does he have boots? He doesn't have boots. He doesn't have boots. So like they don't have boots, but if they have boots, you can't actually run them down because you only have the one blink. Like imagine if that's done, like hypothetically if you got there a second later, the Bristle will be able to walk away from you. And then you maybe have to blink to dive on him. Like you're a fast hero on brown boots will let you like move attack, and drain mana from people. Actually, I don't mind this. Usually I talk about why people should do like some variant of the Branding build. Getting more levels in Blink against a Spirit Breaker is not too bad. Or particularly heroes who might like try and gank you and who can kind of run you down. The Blink will let you get out quicker. But you should still follow that up by leveling stats a little later on. Like, there's times where like early on, if I just had more levels in Blink I would have lived. And like it's good to be able to recognize those games and then skill it when appropriate. This is good for you guys right now. Like, you're getting pretty decent farm. You guys have a Jungle Enigma who will hopefully become... Oh my god, this guy's so bad. You should be able to get your level 6 by like 4.5 minutes, I think. But yeah, so they're not really putting a whole lot of pressure on you, which is really nice. So you're gonna have good timing. Okay, you stop for the brown boots, but you're still rushing for the Battle Fury. So you wouldn't actually notice a huge difference if you're just farming the wave, but what the I'm actually gonna go into free camera here for a second. What it lets you do? Am I not in free camera? Okay, now I'm in free camera. What it lets you do is you push out the creep wave to here, farm one of these camps, blink back here, farm the next creep wave, and then blink here and farm that, and then come back to the creep wave. So each minute you should kill 2 creep waves and 2 jungle camps. And it shouldn't be very hard for you to do that. So you kill the creep wave, blink here, blink back, blink here. Or sorry. Kill the creep wave, blink here. Blink back, kill the creep wave, blink here, kill the neutral camp, blink back here, and kill the wave. And then you just keep repeating that. And that goes much, much faster with treads. Treads also let you put on more pressure. And if you need to farm the woods, it's really nice to have the treads for that purpose. It's like here, I want to see stats going forward from here. You can start getting a little more levels of mana break when you're getting closer to your Manta or Vlad's or something. So I'll go back to player perspective. But yeah, so that's like the general farming pattern you want to see. And like I said, I'll link the video where I show the farming tutorial on it. It's not complicated, it's just something you need to get in the habit of doing. And you can do it on a lot of heroes. Like Slark's another one, you can do it really fast. Alchemist can do it really... Alchemist can actually do it probably the fastest of any hero, honestly. With like like a Soul Ring and a Radiance or something. Like I've gotten 70 to like 100 creeps at the 10-minute mark pretty consistently from the safe lane. It's still easier to play in mid because you can get contested class. Anyway, that's off topic. But okay, so right now, here's a problem. This is really bad right now. This is absolutely horrible. So like, they left, right? Where's our Bristleback? Our Bristleback's up here? What? I can't see. He must be invis or something? I don't know. Whatever, so the Bristleback's up here. The Spirit Breaker, we know, is charging somewhere up here, right? You're alone in bottom lane. This is where you should be pushing this creep wave here and farming this out. If for no other reason, like, I'll do it when there's someone in lane. Like, I don't give a shit. If I can ignore the person in lane, I just farm out the creep wave in front of them and then go farm the woods. And I don't care. And that will get you a ton of farm. But when you're left alone, you cannot be sitting, controlling your creep wave, and static farming. It is really, 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 really bad. The reason why that's bad is because they have no incentive to come back here. If you're static farming, oh, my tower's not pressured. Oh, the AM's free farming, but my tower's not under pressure. You can get free farm, more farm, and pressure their tower, and force the movement. Like, if they... You having the vision here... Sorry, you pushing this tower shows them... Forces the enemy to show where they are. Like, if no one's... Like, for all you know, like, oh, maybe the Bristle's sitting here scared or something, just waiting for a creep wave. You don't know that. You didn't know that for, like, a minute here. And, like, maybe if they had that knowledge, they wouldn't have died top. You don't know that. But just by pushing the creep wave up there, you're creating that threat. Like, see, this guy has to respond here. Like, you push the creep wave here, he responded. Imagine if that creep wave was up there the whole time. One of the people from here would have to respond, or you're getting free tower chip damage. You do not go up to this guy. You can't trade with him. At all. This is really stupid. He's got laser. This hero should max out laser, or get 1 level laser? Okay, so he's doing this thing. Which I don't think is good, but I don't really play tanker. Laser fucking hurts, dude. Anytime he uses laser on you, not only are you blinded for nearly 5 fucking seconds, but it's a huge pure damage nuke that you don't reduce. There's no reason to jump on this guy. All this is gonna do is trade. You're gonna trade HP, and they like have a spirit breaker too, right? Like, even if we assume he's not charging you now, which isn't a safe assumption because you showed on the map for a little too long now, it's not safe to assume that he's not charging you right now. But like, even if we see him up here, right, and we trade with this guy, and let's say we don't die to this guy, like we don't die right here. You trade with him, he gets off 2 lasers. 2 lasers is... That's really annoying. 2 lasers is like 500 damage almost. I think it's 320 pure when it's maxed out, but it's not maxed out. So once you blink there, you've like committed, because actually you do blink max, but still you're basically like committed on that, which is stupid, because like even if you get the laser and then you blink away, you get laser and you blink away because you realize you can't do anything. You've lost 500 HP because now you've taken 2 lasers to the face, right? So you can go back to jungle, you can show up in lane, but if you show in lane, now the Spear Breaker can charge you, and with 1 Urden charge and maybe a Lucky Bash or a Chained Ultimate. Yeah, so he has an Urn and he has his ult. Like, if he just charges you and you're at like less than half HP, he can luck longer you into dying. You don't want to be in a situation where luck can cause you to lose at Dota. It's really stupid. This guy ends up with a Midas. Maybe he does come back? I don't know, whatever. Okay, so this is another bad thing. Right now, you need to be able to survive. Like, I defended your Blink Max early because I think it's okay against the Spirit Breaker. I think it's situationally okay against other heroes, like, anyone who can gap close on you pretty well. Like, maybe like a Weaver or someone with like a Blink, like a Quap or like a PA. Like, being able to keep blinking forward at the reduced cooldown can be very useful. Leveling your mana break now is bad. So, to talk about the skill build, generally speaking, you go 1-1-1, and then you level your ultimate whenever possible. Go 1-1-1, you get stats, 3 levels of stats, and you max blink. So you have blink maxed by level 11. You can also time it to try and have it finish with your Battle Fury. Generally, by level 11 is roughly on par with when you'll have your Battle Fury. But you want to have your blink maxing of your Battle Fury. Earlier maxing your blink isn't bad situationally. It's just nice having those extra stats to like jungle and be more tanky. Because like, look at your HP pool right now. You have 800 HP because you put so much into everything else. Did you? You don't even have a level in stats right now. No, you do. You have 1 level. So you have 1 level in stats right now, but you can have 2 more levels in stats, which will make you a little more tanky. So you want to keep leveling your stats after your blink is maxed until about when your Manta's ready. And like, there's some fluctuation. Like, if you're against a Zeus or like a Lina or something, maybe you want to get another level on Spell Shield, or if you're against like a Darkseer, just kill that illusion. Whatever. Okay, this is bad. You need the treads. Like, your attack speed isn't... or I shouldn't say it's not good. Like, you have a pretty decent agi. It's like 2-8, I think. Yeah. You have a 2-8 agi gain, which is pretty nice. You want to get, like, treads, because it helps you farm so much more. Because you need to tread swap between your blinks. What tread swapping is... What is with this no boot shit? There we go. You go to int treads, blink, and then go back to agi treads while you're farming. And it's like really efficient for you. You need to run away now. Yeah. If you had stats, you might have lived there. And that follows you. It's really weird, that follows you though. Unless you like blink into fog, I don't know. It's such a weird interaction. Like, I know you can fog it and it stops channeling. When you blink, it like doesn't stop channeling. I don't know if it's just because you're still in vision. It's kind of weird. But I've been fucked by that too. You have to wait for that to connect. If you want to play it safe, you wait for that to connect, then blink away though. Yeah, but you need to go for a Vlad's, because remember in the beginning I said the way you want to play this. So that's another death that shouldn't happen. Was that a third death? So you died, TP back here, and then died again. Okay, that's really bad. So, like, right when you get your... Sorry, this is getting very loud right now. Let me fix the volume. Right when you get your Battle Fury is when you want to be farming as efficiently as possible. Because it's not a very big window where you can farm as fast or as efficiently as you want. What I mean by efficiently is, like, getting as many creeps as humanly possible. There's a point in the game where you have to farm suboptimally in favor of creating pressure. Remember that thing where I talked about you have to pressure the tower? You have to push to the tower. In this case, that's allowing you to farm more while giving you information. It's great. It's giving you both. Sometimes you're going to have to sit there and hit the tower instead of blinking to the jungle because, like, the enemy's pushing and you need to give them a reason to stop pushing, i.e. you are now pushing. Like, AM is about forcing the enemy to make suboptimal decisions, and those suboptimal decisions result in them trading towers. Like, maybe they'll win a team fight and take a tower, but you realize the fight's gonna go bad, so you start split pushing and you take 2 towers, and maybe you're knocking on tier 3s while they get to the tier 2 or something. You push super hard. So back to this. One, you're not getting a Vlad's. You should get a Vlad's almost every single game. The exception I'd say is, like, the reason I wouldn't get a Vlad's, and it's so rare because it accelerates your farming so much and keeps you permanently 100 HP, lets you trade with people like a Spectre. Like, you couldn't trade with a Spectre without a Vlad's. She hits hard too, she is Desolate, but if you have a Vlad's, it means you can just go in the jungle and recover. Like, you jungle 2 camps and you get, like, almost all your HP back. If you're at half HP, you go jungle 2-3 camps, you're full HP again. And it doesn't slow you down, really. This is such a horrible skill build on her part. It's so garbage. But yeah, not getting the Vlad's is bad, not having treads is terrible. So these are 2 really bad things. So I don't think I mentioned in the beginning, in this game, I'd probably favor getting a fast travels. Like, I might go treads, Battle Fury, Vlad's, Yasha, travels, and then finish the Manta out. The reason I do that is because you want to deal with the Tinker split push. And travels is turning into a split pushing god. Like, I think I just played a game where I got like 14 creeps a minute, and I wasn't even playing that well. Like, I'm not trying to brag. That game was... I wasn't playing particularly well. I was playing with a friend who's much lower MMR, so the game was fucking easy, and we just completely blew out the enemy team. But the travels let me try and contest a Medusa, I think it was, in that game. So I could just go to whatever lane she is, and she just starts farming suboptimally, because she has to go places where I can't see her, and she did a good job at dodging when I was trying to, like, look for her. I don't know if she realized that's what I was trying to do, but she managed to dodge my Boots of Travel botsing into her lanes a lot, to where I was never really hitting her. But it doesn't matter, like, I'm forcing her to, like, even though I'm missing her, I'm forcing her to react to what I'm doing, which is making her lose farm, while I'm getting way more farm. So it kind of tips the scales in your favor. Anyway, so that's the build I would have liked to see. I don't know if you realize that you should be getting travels this game to contest the Tinker, but, like, a big part of the travels is also having Vlad's, because the Vlad's is what's going to let you put pressure on people without losing all your HP. Like, if you're losing all your HP, then you're not really putting pressure on people. Like, even when she has a Vanguard, it doesn't matter. This is absolutely terrible. Treads are 100% thing. Oh, I think I was talking about when I wouldn't get Vlad's. If I'm, like, really far behind and they have, like a Clinks or a Storm who's, like, balling out of control, then I probably will skip a Vlad's. But, like, I'd have to be behind. Like, if I have, like a 13, 14, 15-minute Battle Fury, I'm not behind. If I have, like, a 22-minute Battle Fury because we're getting train ran on us, then yeah, I'm behind. Ooh, canceled. Yeah, so now you just have all your... I don't know if you're going to max your... I can actually look. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to tab down and look at this. I want to know. I want to know. I want carnal knowledge of your skill build. Okay, I already have carnal knowledge. So now you're just maxing everything. And, like, that's not the optimal way to play AM, because you really do need stats. I assume you're just gonna go Manta into Travels or something. This is just really... I can't stress this enough, because AM is, like, the ultimate, like, optimize every little thing about you hero. and you're not doing that. This is incredibly suboptimal play. You had like a 12-minute Battle Fury or something. I think it was like 12, and you have 140 creeps right now. I'll usually have like 140 creeps at like 16 minutes. Sounds pretty reasonable. I don't know. And part of it's like the farming rotation, which the video I send should help you with. Like his builds are very, very straightforward. There's not a whole lot of innovation. Just if you want to get a fast travels, that can be a cool thing. If you want to get a heart instead of an abyssal, or an abyssal over heart, whatever your general preference tends to be, that can be a thing. But like it's not too varied. Like it's pretty straightforward. You also want to kill the small creep in that troll camp and then target the big creep, because while you're killing the big creep, he'll summon the little creeps, and then your natural auto attacks from killing the big creep will kill the 2 summoned skeletons, so you get 2 extra creeps. I said that kind of fast, but I hope it was clear enough. Yeah, so you're just like manting now. Like this is, I just want to stress like how bad this is. This is very inefficient. Like you can watch, I'm sure you can come up with any YouTube video on here of any half decent anti-mage, and you'll never see them do a build like this, because it is very bad. Like you just sacrifice so much by not having the early stats, by not having treads. Like you just sacrifice so much. And like right now, you see how you're at 500 HP? If you show in a lane that Spearbreaker charges you, he can kill you right now. Like he has a blade mount, well, you'll probably just ignore him anyway. But he can charge you, earn you, ult you, and if he gets one lucky bash, you're dead. Like 100%. And like now you had to go back to base. Now Vlad's would have literally paid for itself in the time it takes you to go back to base, because you're farming, well, that's not true. If you go back to base twice. Vlad's, in terms of like going back to base, Vlad's helps you farm a fair bit more, lets you abuse ancients, lets you kill ancient stacks, lets you solo Roshan, it lets you do a lot of things. But yeah, if it prevents you from going back to base once, it just saved you like 1,000 gold. Or gained, I guess, gave you back 1,000 gold. So like the quick benefits of the Vlads, because I don't think I addressed it well enough. The Vlads is basically like Antimage's version of a Midas. It just puts you on fucking crack, right? Because when you're pushing, your creeps get 15% bonus damage, right? I think it's 15. Is the lifesteal? I think it's 15. We're gonna say 15% bonus damage. You get some lifesteal, and biggest of all, they get 5 armor, which means it takes, I believe, towers. It takes an extra 2 hits to kill melee creeps, which means your waves push for longer periods of time and push for much longer, and they hit harder. Everything about them hits harder. So then the Vlads also lets you kill ancient camps. Like if you don't have a Vlad's and you go to kill ancients, you'll actually lose a fair bit of HP because you're not super tanky. You also don't have your shield anymore. I don't know why you got rid of your shield. Am I crazy? Did you not have one? I'm pretty sure you had a shield. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure you had a shield and you sold it, which was also stupid because you're gonna lose more HP if you have a Vlad's. It doesn't matter if you sell the shield, but you don't have a Vlad's, so when you're jungling these camps, you're gonna take even more damage. You kill them fast, but like they got 1 volley of attacks off, maybe 2. They got 1 or 2 volleys of attacks off in that camp, and you would have blocked about 80 damage, I'd say, about approximately. But yeah, so you lost quite a lot there. Okay, that was just a big statement. What did you lose? Oh, see, like, you can't deal with this harassment either. Like, if you have Vlad's, this would mean you're full HP. Are you gonna go back to base? Are you gonna Manta farm this? It's okay. You can do that. I usually use my Mantis to push waves when I'm scared. But you can use it to jungle that too if you want. He can kill you. No, never mind, he can't. No mana. That was good. See, look at that guy as an Aaron. Or you'd be a sad dude. That guy should not be getting caught right now. Yeah, so now you have the travels, but like I don't know if you can feel it. Like you're way too low HP and mana all this time. If you were tread swapping constantly in between your blinks, you'd be you'd have pretty much full mana this whole time. And if you had a Vlad's, you'd have pretty much you'd have full HP the whole time. And you could play more aggressively, which seems like you're trying to. So you did cross the 10 creeps a minute threshold right now. That should have happened like 15 minutes ago, though. Sorry, not 15. 10. I'll say 10. I think with a 12-minute Battle Fury, you should be, if you don't have 10 creeps a minute by 20, you're doing something wrong. But now you're pretty tanky, so you don't need the Vlad's regen anymore because you have a heart, but I want to stress like the Vlad would still help you push here. The heart's a good decision because Tinker can't kill you now. It would cost him all of his mana to remove half your HP if you have a heart. So by the time you have a heart, you do want to have your magic maxed. I also feel like you haven't been ratting enough. Which I think it's partially because you've been low HP a lot of the time too. But I don't think I focused on that enough because there's like a lot of other like glaring problems I see here that you want to like address. Yeah, anyway, there's like a lot of other glaring problems you're going to want to address beforehand, but you do want to create more pressure on the side lanes, which I said, like the Vlad's helps, being full HP helps. Having 2 global presence heroes definitely makes it a little awkward for you though. And it only makes it awkward because you don't have some version of sustain. See, like, I'd also prefer, like, this is where I'd also prefer a Vlad, like, if you don't have the Vlads, getting a heart feels better next because it'll keep your health all the way up. But if you have the Vlads, you can do something like an Abyssal. If you have the Abyssal, if you ever catch the Tinker or the Spectre in one of their lanes, you just kill them. You instantly kill them, and there's nothing they can do about it. So you travel here, okay, that's pretty good. I think you'll get that, nah, I don't think you'll get the kill. Oh, you do get the kill, good job.
Dyer's bottom tower's destroyed. Dyer's middle tower's under attack.
So like right now is when you want to kind of stop farming your own woods. Like the heroes on your team can benefit from farming the woods, and they don't have a great way to actually kill you, right? I think that's your last death in this game. That's nice. Yeah, so what you want to do is in a game like this, the only way they kill you is if they get off some really good chain stun. Like once you have the Manta, they can't even just kill you with Global. It's really awkward for them. It's very hard for them to, like right now it should be impossible for them to kill you. Like, I want to stress that. Barring you fucking up, you shouldn't have died when you have that heart. Like, the purpose of the heart is so they can't kill you when you died. Like, this is your team pretty much carrying you through this point in the game right now because you're pretty useless. 2-4-4. You've been farming out the woods a lot, so you haven't put enough like lane pressure, I feel. If you have the heart, I think a good follow-up is the butterfly, because the butterfly increases, like you get the heart for survivability, and the butterfly stacks on that survivability really well, because it adds you EHP, it adds survivability, increases your damage, increases your armor. It's really good. Like the heart butterfly is really strong in conjunction, or like the abyssal Vlads is more pick-off oriented. Of like butterfly, the heart is like, I just want to fight and make you deal with me, and you won't be able to deal with me. Because like right now, like let's go back to what I was talking about before. Like, if you look at her right now, even right now, if you had like a Vlad's and an Abyssal, you might be able to kill her, or at the very least you could annoy her a lot. Particularly before she had this Reaver, you could definitely kill her, but with the Reaver, you could definitely piss her the fuck off. So like this is good right now, like you're pushing the side lane. You want to keep this going, force them to respawn, and then you just blink away. Here you see pink bomb. I think you saw brown top left, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah, you see the Spearbreaker. If you see the Spearbreaker, you don't give a shit. Why are you running from a Bristleback? Look at this coward. He's got nothing you care about. Like, you can go fuck. Like, without the Spearbreaker, they literally have no way to kill you. Like, do you see that? Without him chain stunning you, what can the enemy team do here? They can global silence where you manta out of it. The Tinker can laser you, but he'll blow through all of his mana well before he comes even close to killing you. He's actually doing what's smart. What you want to do against an anti-mage is you go sheep, and then you just rearm sheep laser, and you just kill him with sheeps and lasers. Because you can't kill him with rocket, and you can't do an E-blade dig and combo on him. So you just sheep laser and you keep him chain stunned. So this is pretty good. Like, keep on, the Spearbreaker's dead. You are fearless right now. There's nothing that can kill you. This is a game where, like, it shouldn't be close on the merits of them having no way to actually stop you. I mean, that's cool. You got out. I mean, that's not the worst thing in the world. Like here, I think you have the gold for a 38. Yeah, you should have the gold for a butterfly right now. Now, if you just want to split push or team fight, it's better. If you want to get solo pickoffs, then the Abyss is better. This is kind of like a hybrid thing. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not optimal. What are you doing with these illusions? I mean, like, the Enigma's already farming that. Like, the way you want to use your Manta is if, like, you push up this lane. Like, you don't want to really use your Mantas for split farming. You need them for kill. Like, your hero split farms quickly enough. You don't use Manta. You're not a Naga Siren. You don't use Manta illusions and your illusions to farm. You use your illusions to get kills or create pressure. So, like, I would push this up to here. And if they had, like, stuns or something, I was kind of scared. I'd Manta here and put my illusions forward. And then I'd farm this, come back this way, and do that or whatever. Or I'd travel top. Since you have travels, I'd travel top and then start creating pressure there while my illusions push in here. And the important part is that you're creating pressure, like a two-pronged like pressure thing. And that's what the travels are meant for. You just keep putting pressure in like two, 3 places at once, and they can't deal with it. Admittedly, they have a Tinker, so they can deal with it to an extent, but you can still do it really quickly, and then you can create a kill threat on the Tinker. Like, you're winning this game because your team is fucking shit up right now. Like, this Tide is wrecking shit. He's gonna have a refresher Ags blink by 40 minutes. I mean, that's not amazing. That is more than good enough. That's more than what we could ask from a pub, right? This Enigma's got off some decent black holes. He's got a mech. What's this guy doing? He's got a fucking dig in 5. Like, your team is carrying this for you right now. Like, I want you to appreciate that your team is winning this for you. And don't get me wrong, they have like such mid-game centric heroes. None of these are late-game carries. But they're good CC for you, so that's nice. So you don't necessarily need the Abyssal to hold people in place, right? So if you have like a Butterfly in a team fight, if they get off a good Ravage, good Black Hole or whatever, then you're gonna murder people. So like here, like you're not even here. You just TP'd home. I mean, admittedly I haven't been watching what you've been doing for the last minute, but I can't imagine it was that relevant. Like, this is okay farm, but like you've just literally been doing nothing but like creeping. Like, you should have been at this tower. Like the amount of team fights your team is winning, and the fact that you're not super far behind means they should be losing barracks. Because your team doesn't need you to win fights. And if your team doesn't need you to win a fight, or break even on a fight, that means that you take a Rax. Like, you should be creating constant pressure. And like, with your travels, you can show up to a lot of fights. Like, if Eidolons are there, you can TP in on an Eidolon. Sorry, I feel like I'm a little scatterbrained right now. Like, there's just so many things I want to talk about in this game, and like, not enough time in the world, right? USA report. Yeah, so like you need to be splitting like way harder. Like, where are you right now? This is a good spot to be, right? This is where you send your Manta illusions forward, piss off the Bristleback, and just take all his mana. And travel over to here. Okay, you want to go for the kill. No, it's even better. If you were planning to go for that kill, then obviously you don't use your Manta illusions, because you need the Manta to purge off his blind too. I think this is backdoor, right? Awesome, tell us. It's not backdoor. Okay, this guy has no hope of killing you. Those are some fucking bashes, though. If there's whatever god he prays to is the right one, because there's no, that is socially unacceptable level of bashes right there. So you're getting a butterfly now, but like, this is around when you should be 6 slotted, and you didn't go for any interim items or anything. So I would have liked to see you 6 slot like 4 minutes ago, but like, your deaths cost you that gold, honestly. And as we saw, like, I think 3 of those deaths shouldn't have happened. I think the Spirit Breaker one that surprised you here was the only acceptable one. Like, when you had your Battle Fury and there's tons of skirmishes here, the Spirit Breaker killed you when you did the blink, when you blinked when he was ulting you. Like, he killed you and then you seemingly TP'd back down here and died again with your Battle Fury. Fuck that. If there's 4 people down here, you just go top. You go top and pretend everyone doesn't exist. And you just farm. Because like that, like, when you just have your Battle Fury, particularly your Brown Boots Battle Fury, you don't do a lot. Like, your job is to just farm at that point and get to your next items. You don't want to sit in this. Your job is to just farm and get to your next like item or two, where you can create pressure. Sorry, I should say farm and create pressure. Like, that's your job at that point in the game, because that's what you do. God, this item build is so bad too. And like going bottom and dying is like literally catastrophic. Like that's game losing stuff. When you die at like literally like, the worst moments like that. Like you by dying those 2 times, you probably lost like, I'm not joking when I say 3,000 gold, because you have the gold from your deaths and the opportunity cost from not farming during that time. So the opportunity cost is about 1,000 gold a minute. If we say you're dead for 2 minutes, or you spend 2 minutes getting to where you're farming again, like between your deaths and getting back to a place where you can farm, you waste 2 minutes. It's 2,000 gold that's gone. And an AM with a Battle Fury is farming 1,000 gold a minute. So like each one of your deaths is costing you over 1,000 gold. And particularly those chain deaths kind of amplify the problem because your TP should be on cooldown. Because you died right as you TP'd. So that's gonna like compound it even more. But yeah, I definitely like the fast travels though. The execution was bad, but the idea was good. I don't know if it's a regular thing you do, but whatever. So like in a late game scenario like this, which I wouldn't even say you're in a late game scenario, like the late game comes when she's 6 slotted. The Spectre's not 6 slotted. The Spectre is, fuck, we'll say 3 slotted. We'll say the Spectre's 3 slotted. You're basically maxed out right now. The Spectre has a ways to go. She has at least 2 more items to get. When you have to go into changing your strategy is when the Spectre is 6 slotted or the Tinker is 6 slotted. Because when they get 6 slotted, that's what's going to change the dynamic of the game. Like right now, you can still fight, you can still man up on people, you can still go for kills, and they still have a really hard time killing you. And I don't think at any point, until the Tinker has a sheep and like a bloodstone or something, he's gonna have a real hard time killing you, or they're gonna have a real hard time killing you because he needs to be able to chain his hex and his laser while they're killing you. Which, don't get me wrong, is very possible, but if you're taking a team fight, it's not possible because they need to focus on other people. Because if they're just chain stunning you and using everything on you, they're gonna get ravaged. They're gonna be gathered, so they'll get black holed. Like there's a lot of things that they can do as long as you're with your team. You just have to make sure you don't get caught out by yourself there. Yeah. Like if it got to that point where that was a thing, I would sell your not sell your Battle Fury. You put your Battle Fury in a stash. You never sell your Battle Fury in case you need to go back to slip pushing, because AM pushes really slow without a Battle Fury. But you drop your Battle Fury for a BKB, and then you just focus on single targets. So you fight just fine right now. Okay, that's some coward shit. You don't TP back to base now. You TP bottom lane, or you stick around for that fight. Hold on, I need to watch that in slow. This is where your team starts falling out. Okay, I'm not opposed with you leaving here, but you need to have like a better assessment of where you're supposed to go. Right now, you don't go home, you go bottom lane. Like, you have a heart. You have full mana and a heart. Which means in 30 seconds, you have full HP, too. So you need to get better at TPing to the right spot. And in this case, the right spot was bottom. You also need a safer buyback. That's game-losing shit right there. Right now, let's look at your net worth. You're 15k up on a Spectre. Oh, I don't care which way we're on. You're 15k up on a... There we go. You're 15k up on a Spectre. And you need to make that fucking count. Is he just giving away gold now? I don't understand this guy. So you're 15k up on a Spectre. Are you gonna die here? Oh no. Oh, clearly not. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that is bold on his part. That was fucking throws on that Tinker's part. Yeah, you need to save your buyback, because if you die, like what's the gold thing right now? Your gold lead's 15k. That's you. That's your advantage over the Spectre. And if you drop that 30k down, your team is so far behind. Like, look at their net worths. Like, they've been fighting well to this point, but their net worths are still pretty low. Don't get me wrong, you guys still have you guys have more than potential to win a team fight. You guys have tons of potential to win a team fight. It's just that their relative net worths are very low. So, like, if you guys lose a fight with like, Enigma dropping his black hole, this guy using double ravage, if you somehow lose that fight, because, like, those abilities are blown or whatever, you need to be able to buy back and split push and save time for your team's ultimates to get up or whatever, you know?
He's from Boston because he's wicked sick.
Yeah, so you just trade away all of our mana. Oh, he might? Nah, you should. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, they literally can't kill you here. Like, he'd have to get the luckiest chain bashes in the world to actually kill you there. If you TP it home, you're in trouble here. Okay, good. See, like, this is what you should have done last time. Like there, you got gun on, you were in a dangerous situation, you used your brain, and you TP top lane and started exerting pressure because, you know, full everything. That's the same thing you had to do. That's the same thing you had to do that time up here, because you might have been able to get a Rax. But yeah, when you get into the super late game scenario, you need to rat and look for key pickoffs, like, with your team. Like, if you and the Pudge catch out, like, a Spectre or a Tinker or something, they're dead. Like, I mean, you catching out anyone apart from the Spectre and they're dead. But if you and, like, +1 catch out the Spectre's dead too. So, like, this is what he needs to do now. Like, this is what he needs to do, but he's not chaining it quickly enough. Because he's bad. I mean, you called it, right? This guy's shit. Man, that's awkward. You just blew double Ravage and you weren't there to kill someone. Like, you have to... I mean, I could assume there's probably a degree of no communication there. But if he has double Ravage, like, you just sit here. Because when he blows double Ravage, like, you can kill someone. You have 5 seconds of stun to kill someone. Like a Purge, he stuns. Oh, you were silenced, okay. Never mind. There wasn't much you could do except walk back, but you guys were global till you all retreated, but his silence got broken because of his passive. His Kraken, because they damaged him. So he was able to blow his Ravages. It secured your retreat and you still black hole up, so that's good. But yeah, so when you're in like a late game situation where you don't feel like you can fight straight up, you just keep every lane split push with your travels. You make it so they can't take a fight on their terms, they're always taking a fight on your terms. And as we said, it is very, very hard for them to get a kill on you. Because they have to chain Spirit Breaker stuns, and then they need like an Abyssal on these two. Like these two people need an Abyssal Blade. He has a Sheep, he's doing his part, but they need Abyssal Blades, and then they chain stun you. It's one of those awkward things, like imagine you're against a Storm or an AM and you don't have, that's fucking hilarious. If you're against like a Storm or like an Antimage, you don't have lockdown, you basically lost the game until you got like 3 to 5 Sheeps and Abyssals on your team. Like you need those items, and then you can kill like a Storm or an AM, kind of reliably. Same with an Ember, I suppose. Like that's a situation your game's in, but they've got 1 Sheep now, and they've got a couple of stuns from the Spirit Breaker. So like, when his Manta's complete, they could kill you if they catch you out alone. You just have to make sure you're kind of smart about not getting caught out. Not wasting your Manta if you think you're about to get gone on. It's kind of awkward, because I don't use the Manta to split push, but yeah, so this is just like normal Dota right now. Like you just rat and like look for an opportunity. Have you even Rosh yet, actually? Fuck. Okay, you need a fucking Roshan. That's the problem here. Okay, don't worry, crack the code. You have the consume moon shard. Yeah, so you can Roshan. Once you have a Vlad's and a Yasha, like if you have Treads, Vlad's, Yasha, you can solo Roshan. Oh, and a Battlefield, obviously. If you have those things, you can solo Roshan. So look, they might get you to half HP if they're lucky. Oh my god. He has Blink Up? What is this Tinker doing? Where are you, Tinker? This Tinker, I think, just threw Dotas. Okay, no. He couldn't get there. If he was there, you'd die. And you're still coming pretty close. You should be okay, though. You got a big ult here, buddy. Missile Blade. Yeah, I think the Spectre's items are okay, but she needed to finish the Manta instead of getting Travels. Which I think she sold her boots for Travels. Pretty shitty. Abyssal there and you're dead too. Like that's the point you're getting to in this game, where you haven't really done your job well. So I feel like I haven't been commenting too much right now. Ooh, DD rune. I haven't been commenting too much. One, like you're an anti-mage. You control the fucking map. You're an anti-mage with Travels. You can completely control the map, right? And I also don't think there's gonna be much more to see here. So we'll probably just end this in just a minute anyway. I don't really care about the result of the game. You want to keep the lanes pushed, and then you want to take objectives around Roshan. So if you get if you get a heart, like keep in mind your heart timing. If you went here and you soloed Roshan when you had a heart, or you just killed Roshan when you had a heart, whatever, and you have the Heart Aegis combo. They have to work through 3,000 HP of 60% plus resistance in each. Okay, that's if you have a Vlad's. Whatever. So you have 57 physical, 62 magic resist. You have a ton of resistance in both categories, right? So you have to work through 3,000 HP twice. So fighting around Aegis timings when you have a Heart is like probably the most important thing in the world. Like if you're going for an Abyssal, the Abyssal thing, the Aegis is still really nice to have. So if you go like Manta Abyssal instead of Manta Heart, then it's still nice to have the Roshan, the Aegis, because you can go for deeper pickoffs. But it's not like as big of a deal. Like the heart in the Aegis just means like you have to now kill me twice. Good luck. Like when you have that timing, which is about 30 minutes or so, you should have that combo. It's like you need to kill me twice, and that is impossible for you right now. So you lose this team fight, and you lose a Rax. It's all about just doing critical damage. Damn, son. So that's a couple of things you didn't do. So okay, we're gonna recap right now. We don't really care about the ending of this game. I can tell you what, we'll watch the ending. Okay, they lost Dota. Okay. So here's our little recap. We're gonna rewind. We're gonna talk about things. Okay, first of all, your item build is shit. Your item and your skill build are both really bad. You can watch like any anti-mage player, and you'll never see this. Fucking do not watch Slasher do anything. That guy's terrible. Don't care if this fucking MR is 7k. Sorry, I should say, with a high degree of execution, the stuff he does can work, but that doesn't mean it's the most optimal. It's an alternative way to play. It's not very good. I'm getting off on a tangent here. Whatever. Anyway, you'll never see an AM do this. You want to be like 1-4-1-2. The fuck? I'm telling you what to do. 1-4-1-2. When you get your Battle Fury, as you're finishing your Manta, you finish skilling Mana Break. You time it so they're about the same. And when you're getting a Heart, that's when you skill your Spell Shield. And you can get some early levels of Spell Shield if you want. If they have a lot of magic damage, it's completely your call. This game, the answer is no early levels of Spell Shield because it doesn't really help you a lot. You need the more survivability just to like survive. Like the thing about Spell Shield is you have to have good magic damage. Unless they're pure magic damage, you get similar levels of survivability for more levels of stats because the more levels of Spell Shield doesn't increase your actual resistance by that much. So getting more HP that has mixed resistance can help you against varied damage more than just straight more resistance, if that makes sense. Like if anything, it's just close, and then the stats helps you with other things, while the more levels, the stats just helps you with like everything more, while the level in Spell Shield's only like, okay, well, if they Zeus ult, or if they Lena ult me and she doesn't have an axe yet, then it'll help me more. It's like one of those type of things. So that skill build is just fucking wrong, like emphatically wrong. So 1-4-1, max this around Mana Break. I'll say general rule: max your Blink around Battle Fury timing, max your Mana Break around Manta timing, max your Spell Shield around Heart timing. You can play with that a little bit. General rule of thumb. It's in flux. You can get extra levels of Mana Break and laning phase if you want. Just if you can harass more with it, that's the purpose of it, to harass. If you get someone like a Wind Ranger, like a Clinks or a Darkseer offline, then like more levels in Mana Break can help. Usually I just stop at like probably like 2 or something. Second thing, your item build, fucking garbage, as we discussed. You need to go Treads Battle Fury almost 100% of the time. Like I said, the Treads lets you deal with, if they move 3 people into this lane, it lets you farm the woods very effectively. The Treads Poor Man's Shield Ring of Health lets you farm the woods pretty well. Like, I can get 10 creeps a minute on an Antimage without a Battle Fury. Like, I don't need a farming item to do it. It's not hard for me to do it because I know the farming patterns and I know, like, the capabilities of the hero. And you can do it before your Battle Fury timing. Like, I've had games where where before my Battle Fury happens, where maybe I'll have a little bit of a late Battle Fury, like 16 minutes or something. I'll have like 140 creeps at like 16 minutes before I have a Battle Fury. So while it's not exactly 10, you can get very, very close to it, and you can't even get above it. It just depends on how free your farm is, right? Okay, so you always want to get the Treads. You pretty much always want to get a Battle Fury, obviously. You know, you're an anti-mage, it's a signature item. I'm not going to bother talking about alternatives. So you always want the treads, you always want the Battle Fury. And 99% of the time, you do want a Vlad's. This is 100% of Vlad's game. They have this dude, some armor down. They have these people with global damage, kind of. And you need to be able to trade with them. You need to be able to trade HP with them. And then the Vlad's also opens up Roshan. It opens up fucking everything. I mean, I've already discussed it, right? Like, the Vlad's just does so many things that you need to be getting that. Unless there's, like, a storm or a clinks with an Orchid who's completely out of control. That's a song for another, or a story for another time, I guess. Alright, third thing, split pushing. You need to be split pushing. Like, the biggest part about AM, like, we talked about this, your team was holding it, like, you were feeding. You were, like, 1-4 and, like, 2 or something like that. You weren't doing very well. You made some really poor mid-game decisions. And just some really stupid deaths that shouldn't have happened, right? So you need to be split pushing. Your team was taking the 4v5 just fine. They were killing it. So proud of them. And like you just had to be in position to capitalize on their one fights. They were up a ton of kills. Like look, they're 34-22 right now. They're winning fights. All you had to do was be in a position to take a Rax with one of their one fights, or like be in a position to create pressure while they're winning a fight. And you weren't. Like I didn't look at that closely because there's just so many other things to look at in this game. But that's something you have to be doing. AIM's all about creating split pressure. And like I talked about farming efficiency in the early on, like once you're past the 20-minute mark, you need to be focusing on creating split pressure. Even earlier than that, if a game calls for it, you need to be focusing on creating the pressure to force the enemy team to deal with you and then give your team an advantageous fight. Because like the Tinker TPs to deal, even if it's a Tinker TPing to deal with you, that's still time he needs to spend TPing to your lane, spamming his marches, and then going back to base and healing. Like that still takes a ton of time from the Tinker to do that. And during that time, they're taking a 4v4, right? And if the Tinker doesn't come back, or someone, and even another game where there's not a Tinker, if someone doesn't come and deal with you, then you're taking free towers, free racks, whatever. And then, like, if you're doing this and you can't show up to the fight they're at, and your team draws the fight, a drawn fight for them where, like, let's say, like, just the Spectre survives, the Spectre can't stop you. Like, one or two people can't stop you from split pushing. They might annoy you a little bit, but they can't do anything about it, and you would just been able to take a Rax. But you were never in position to do it. Like, that's what I need to stress. You were never in position to take advantage of them winning fights without you. Which is just really bad AM play. Like you look at this, if someone just looks at this game at face value, right? I see, okay, this guy's got well over 10 CS a minute, so he probably farms pretty well. Okay, he's got good items, but, like, I can't see the order, right? Or I would have judged you for that. And whatever. Like, I'll just see those things, and I don't see... Until I look at the game, I don't see, like, oh, you weren't split pushing properly. Oh, you just AFK'd in the jungle, so you had tons of creeps, but your creeps didn't actually do anything. It didn't create pressure. So you can get tons of farm, but if you're not creating pressure, then you're not doing anything. Your hero's job is to, like, split push and get pickoffs. But if you're not split pushing and getting pickoffs, then you're not creating the pressure you need to be on an anti-mage. Like, that's his benefit. AM comes online between, like, the 16 and 25 minute mark, and that's when you can start putting tons of pressure on people. Like, once you have the Vlads, you can really start putting pressure on, and once you have the Manta, you can start getting solo kills. Once you have the Abyssal, you can definitely get solo kills. But even before that, once you have the Battle Fury, you can create that split pressure. If you're not creating that split pressure, you should not be playing anti-mage. Like, that's the point of the hero, to create the split pressure. And if you're not doing that, then all you're doing is playing AFK Farming Simulator. Which, while is cool on paper, it doesn't actually do anything. Like, I've done the AFK farm thing. Just see how many creeps I can get. But, like, if you actually want to win a fucking game, like, you need to be making the right decisions. Like, constantly have waves pushed to here and forcing people to respond so your team can get fights. Okay, so I think we beat that point to death. Like I said, I think the travels was good, but we already talked about the item build. You need to get the treads first, and if you want to get travels, you can get them after your Yasha, after your Manta. You can get them in that point. If you really want to maximize farm, you can get it after the Yasha. The only reason I really wouldn't do that is if there's some sort of silence that you would need to break. So they do have a silencer. It's your call. Like, I've done it in game. It's just how comfortable you feel. Like, you need to know, you need to have good awareness and avoid the ganks until you have the Manta, basically. Like, that's all it really is. Cowards. I can't understand what this... Sounds like abandoned, but then didn't abandon. Okay, what was the last thing I wanted to talk about? We went over skill build, item builds, split farming, farming patterns. I don't believe I touched on the farming patterns too much. I just said it early on. You want to, ideally, you want to be doing that farming pattern I talked about where you push the wave, farm a camp, come back, farm the wave, farm the other camp, and then rinse and repeat every minute. You should never, ever, 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 ever on any single carry, except maybe a Spectre, who just sucks so much at farming. You should never just sit statically farming a lane when there's no hero. I've had these games where I have these moronic juggernauts. For some reason, it's always a juggernaut who's a complete moron. They get left alone in like top lane or something. Like they're a safe lane carry, they get left alone here for like 5 minutes. I had this juggernaut, 2 juggernauts in a row, left alone for fucking 5 minutes in the safe lane. And what do they choose to do? They just deny every creep. Guy has like 40 denies. Tower has full HP. Tower has 100 HP of damage or something. This guy's left alone for 5 minutes. It's like you've done nothing to create pressure. You haven't optimized your farm. You haven't forced anyone to come top. All you've done is deny creeps against heroes that aren't there. If heroes aren't there, there's no reason to deny creeps unless you really need to hold equilibrium. But holding equilibrium, as we discussed, is farming inefficient. So you really don't need to focus on holding equilibrium. But yeah, so like if there's no one in the lane, particularly when there's no one in the lane, you need to be pushing the creep wave to the tower and farming the jungle. Or at the very least pushing it to the tower. If your hero can't farm the jungle, you can't farm the jungle. The reason I say Spectre might be an exception is because she's so incredibly bad at farming the jungle, unless you have certain items. Like when I say early on, I'm talking like in the first 15 minutes. And she's so incredibly bad at it that she might need to hold and just static farm. Because she can't jungle. She's just so bad at it. Any other carry can jungle and do that rotation. To some degree. I mean, even she can. She's just not very good at it. I had no idea that her main person turns into a Haunt Illusion. That's amazing. Every day you learn something, huh? I've played a lot of Spectre games. I never knew that. Anyway, so that about summarizes it. I hope that helps. If you seem to know how to farm very well. You just have to learn to focus that in the correct way. Like, make sure you're farming in the correct spots. And even if it means you get less creeps, it's more efficiently using your time. And in a game like this, you need to be farming on this side of the map. Like, once you have your Manta, you can farm here, and there's nothing they can do to stop you. And when you farm here, you're stealing all their creeps in this area, and you're giving your team this whole area to farm. So you're heavily limiting where they can go. Because now, like, a Spectre can't walk and deal with you alone. They'd have to move with you as 5. They have to move towards you as 5 in any hopes of actually killing you. And, like, odds are they still won't kill you. Particularly if you're paying attention and you dodge the gank. They're not going to kill you. But that comes down to some levels of map awareness. But yeah, I mean, you seem to have good farming patterns, which isn't something I say about a lot of people. Like, you can get a ton of creeps. Like, that is a lot of farm. That's 13 creeps a minute? 12, 13 creeps a minute or something. But yeah, you just have to learn to focus your patterns and like get the clean pickoffs. That's about it. Anyway, I hope that helps. Feel free to send me any other replays. I've got a recent Antimage game. I'll send you the Dota buff too if you want to watch it. You can see the farming patterns and what I do to create pressure. Like, look specifically like when my team is fighting. For like how I'm trying to farm and like where I'm trying to farm at like different points. It's pretty important. Anyway, I'm gonna end this video here and upload it for you. Have a good one.